أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So this story in the Quran in Surat Ghafir, Surah number 40, starting from verse 28 for up to I think 20 verses or so, that tells the story, this unique story that maybe a lot of people are not aware of, is that this person who is a believer in the surrounding of Pharaoh, and he was hiding his belief. And he was trying to persuade his people as somebody among them, like somebody who's close, somebody who is trusted, and giving them the advice of a believer, which also tells us that you can always be a good messenger of spreading the good. You don't have to be a prophet. I mean, this is in the presence of Musa and Haroon, and he was giving the advice. And so what did he say? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وقال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون يكتم إيمانه أتقتلون رجلا أن يقول ربي الله وقد جاءكم بالبينات من ربكم وإن يك كاذبا فعليه كذبه وإن يك صادقا يصبكم بعض الذي يعدكم إن الله لا يهدي من هو مسرف كذاب. So he was, when they were deciding to kill Musa, he was telling them, why are you killing somebody? All is that he is saying is that Allah is my Lord, and he has provided the evidence from your Lord. So he's telling, look at the, he's telling them that Allah is your Lord, whether you like it or not, because he's saying from your Lord, not from his Lord. He brought the evidence from your Lord. And then he's saying, if he's a liar, his lying will affect only him. But if he's a truthful, then the good will definitely reach you, and whatever he's promised, in the heaven and so on, you will also get it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide those who are transgressors or liars. That means if you are not going to be guided, that means you are from that category. So look at the subtle but also clear communication he's giving to everybody in the Pharaoh when they were deciding to kill Musa. That's so easy, they could kill him, right? And then he doesn't stop there. He continues and he says, يا قوم لكم الملك اليوم ظاهرين في الأرض فمن ينصرنا من بأس الله إن جاءنا قال فرعون ما أريكم إلا ما أرى وما أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد. And then this person, the believer, continues and says, oh my people, you are now in charge, you are the supreme, but who will protect us from the wrath and the torment of Allah if it comes? He's now advising and then threatening or reminding. At that stage, Pharaoh became upset or became worried about this advice, not knowing that this person is a believer, but his arguments are very valid. And he's saying, I'm telling you only what I believe and leading you only to the way of guidance. That is, what I'm saying, Pharaoh is telling his people is the real, what is the real deal, that everything else, I'm guiding you, I'm the guidance. Now, that also kind of tells you that even Pharaoh, who is a tyrant, he still allowed some people to have an opinion, when even today's pharaohs or today's people who are dictators and others, even such comments from somebody else will not be tolerated. So there are people who are even worse than Pharaoh today. That believer did not stop when Pharaoh interjected. He continued. وقال الذي آمن يا قوم إني أخاف عليكم مثل يوم الأحزاب مثل دأب قوم نوح وعاد وثمود والذين من بعدهم وما الله يريد ظلما للعباد ويا قوم إني أخاف عليكم يوم التناد يوم تولون مدبرين ما لكم من الله من عاصم ومن يضلل الله فما له من هاد. So then he began to remind them what has happened to those who are previous to you, who were doomed, like the people of Noah who were drowned, or Ad and Thamud who died because or killed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for disobeying, and then those who came after them, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never be unfair. All of those people were punished after they were given the opportunity. And in a case like Noah, 950 years, he was advising them and they refused. And then that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they will all be drowned. And so this person is telling them, that I am advising you from that day that we will be, crying to each other and fearing, and that we are turning our back and run away, that becomes too late. It is in vain. No one will protect us. He's warning them, and that we will be like the people of Noah and Ad and Thamud, which actually happened. They, all the Pharaoh and his soldiers and those who followed him were drowned, just like this person said, because they didn't heed his advice. And then he reminded who? Yusuf alayhi salam. وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ يُوسُفُ مِنْ قَبْلُ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ فَمَا زِلْتُمْ فِي شَكٍّ مِّمَّا جَاءَكُمْ بِهِ حتى إذا هلك قلتم لن يبعث الله من بعده رسولا كذلك يضل الله من هو مسرف مرتاب. And then this connects to the story of Yusuf. So Yusuf, as you all know, moved to Egypt, and he was the son of Jacob, and he spread the belief of Islam, the belief before Judaism and all that. This is the right path of believing. But he said, after Yusuf died, then you said that no one will be sent, and you went back to your old ways. So that means the people in the time of Egypt and Pharaoh. And so these are some of the examples of how we as Muslims can give advice also, even if people don't know we are Muslims. We can still give the advice and direct people to the right path. But as then it continues, Pharaoh interjects again, and he's still renegating against this, and he's saying, Musa is a liar and so on. But then the verse comes back in 38, giving the final advice. وقال الذي آمن يا قوم اتبعوني أهدكم سبيل الرشاد يا قوم إنما هذه الحياة الدنيا متاع وإن الآخرة هي دار القرار. So he's saying that follow me, that I am going to lead you to the right path. It seems here as if this person is now declaring that he is on the right path, because he's saying, اتبعوني أهدكم سبيل الرشاد. This is the same person, the man who believed. And he's saying, يا قوم إنما هذه الحياة الدنيا متاع, that this worldly life is just an enjoyment, and the hereafter is the real settlement, or the real final setting. And من عمل سيئة فلا يجزى إلا مثلها, and whoever does a evil deed will be paid with the equivalent. ومن عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى, and here whether it's a male or a female. So this is the equality, the equity. He didn't just say if it's a male or a female, and he is a believer. فأولئك يدخلون الجنة يرزقون فيها بغير حساب. Those are the people who will enter the heaven without any limits. ويا قوم ما لي أدعوكم إلى النجاة وتدعونني إلى النار تدعونني لأكفر بالله وأشرك به ما ليس لي به علم وأنا أدعوكم إلى العزيز الغفار لا جرم أن ما تدعونني إليه ليس له دعوة في الدنيا ولا في الآخرة وأن مردنا إلى الله وأن المسرفين هم أصحاب النار. I'm thinking this person now has already declared. You know, he was hiding it, but this is now open invitation, saying, "I am asking you, or I am advising you to the survivor, and you are advising me to go into the fire of hell. You are advising me or asking me." This is, you know, for Pharaoh and his people to make partners with Allah and would do things that I have no knowledge, and I am inviting you to the Almighty. And then he says in the last two verses, لا جرم أن ما تدعونني إليه ليس له دعوة في الدنيا ولا في الآخرة وأن مردنا إلى الله وأن المسرفين هم أصحاب النار. And that there is no doubt whatever you invite me to worship are not worthy to be invoked either in this world or the hereafter, and that we will be returned to Allah, and those who are in the hellfire are those who are the transgressors. And then he says, فَسَتَذْكَرُونَ مَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. And you will remember what I say. And I am turning and entrusting my affairs to Allah. Allah is all-seeing of his servants. And so with this, kind of, we have several lessons to learn, that no matter, even this person is kind of risking himself and saying this advice, even though he might not have need to do that, because Musa is there, Haroon is there, alayhim salam. They are the ones who are tasked by Allah. But this person is an insider. This person is somebody from the same people, from the close people of Pharaoh. And he was hoping that they will listen to him if they are not listening to Musa. So these are things that, and the verses are beautiful, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us through the story of this person who was with Pharaoh. But the reward for that person, even though they did not listen to him, as we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. Allah protected him from the evils of their schemes, and Pharaoh and his people were overwhelmed by the evil punishment. So his reward for doing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him for giving the advice, even though people did not listen to him. And the punishment happened to those who are the people of Pharaoh. And what happened to them? In addition to in this life they were drowned, they will be they will be in the fire morning and evening, in their graves, and on the day of judgment they will be told, bring them all into the tournament and the punishment of hellfire. And then, you know, the discussion continues, what is the things that happen among those who are in the fire of hell, which is not just applicable to our Pharaoh, but also anybody who's in the fire. What they will be arguing among them. And then those who are weaker were telling to the people who are in charge, we were following you, so you take on some of our punishment, because it was your fault. You were in charge, we were leading you, and take now. But those, what was their answer? قال الذين استكبروا إنا كل فيها إن الله قد حكم بين العباد. We are all in this together, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already passed the judgment over his servants. That means it does not help anyone who say it was my fault, I was just following the norm, I was following the crowd, I was following our leaders. No, that is not going to be acceptable. And these are the verses that remind us we have to think what is the right thing, not follow the crowd, not follow the social norms, especially in today's social norms which are not with the Muslim faith. So inshallah, we conclude here, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.